Hello, everyone. Welcome to Backyard Musings, broadcasting live from Apple Valley. I'm Steve.
And I'm Scott.
Thanks for joining us today. It's kind of a follow-up from our UN segment, right? About, what was that, immigration? I want to say reform, something immigration, pushing it. Well, Bill Clinton, 42nd president, said the following at a campaign rally for Harris. You got a case in Georgia not very long ago, didn't you? They made an ad about it, a young woman who had been killed by an immigrant. Yeah, well, if they'd all been properly vetted, that probably wouldn't have happened, Clinton said. So that's like an ad for Trump, right?
Good for Bill. Speaking a little truth
a
on
little
the left.
Truth,
I love
yeah,
it.
truth to power. Okay, now listen to this. But if they are all properly vetted, that doesn't happen. And America is not having enough babies to keep our population up. So we need immigrants that have been vetted to do work.
Yeah. Or
babies
maybe stop
and work.
Aborting kids.
Yeah. Well, that might help it.
Yeah.
Democrats believe we need to kill babies of U.S. citizens in the womb, and we need illegal aliens to make babies and do work. To follow that logic.
Yeah.
What is going on? I don't understand. It's like they won't put murderers on death row, but they'll kill innocent babies. Here's an excerpt from an interview between J.D. Vance and the New York Times' Lulu Garcia-Navarro.
This is interesting stuff here.
Yeah.
So she pressed the GOP VP nominee on alleged contradiction between his desire to boost the economy, housing supply, and his commitment to a tighter border. Given that a large proportion of the construction workforce is here illegally. Garcia-Navarro asked, how do you propose to build all the housing necessary in this country?
Good question, right?
Yeah.
Fair?
If she'd stopped there, that would have been good.
Yeah.
Partisan agents are usually more careful to hide their preference to slave-like labor. How can America get by without serf underclass who don't speak the language and lack the power to organize and demand regulatory protection? And who can be used to put downward pressure on the wages of native workers without a college degree?
That's a harsh question, but it's fair.
It's fair,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of harsh.
Yeah.
So J.D. Vance correctly explained that the nation had no trouble expanding its housing supply in the immediate post-war decades, a period that coincided with a much more restrictive border regime, right? After World War II, boom, let's build the houses.
Yeah.
More recently, elite opinion has taken it for granted that because a large number of builders are using undocumented labor, that's the only way to build homes, Lulu Garcia-Navarro retorted. I'm not arguing in favor of legal immigration. Oh, no. It's like Martha Raddatz saying, it's only a few.
It's a handful.
A handful
of apartment complexes.
In the United States.
Yeah.
Taken over.
Middle of the United States.
Taken over by Venezuelan gangs.
Yeah.
Just a handful.
Yeah. And I loved J.D. Vance's comeback to that. Are you kidding me?
Did you hear yourself?
Yeah, exactly.
Man.
Yeah. So that's exactly what she was doing, defending a trend that, unless reversed, will put the United States on the labor path similar to the United Arab Emirates and Qatar, or Qatar, states that oversee vast numbers of disenfranchised and brutalized migrant workers.
It's true. This is the way it's heading. This is the trajectory.
Yeah. So you've heard this before from Jerry Nadler, in fact. There are some jobs that Americans won't do. America simply doesn't have enough workers to shore up this or that industry. Americans don't work hard. Nadler was speaking about picking crops. You got to be kidding me.
Yeah, Nadler actually said that.
You talk about being out of touch and speaking. Yeah. Well, he wasn't speaking from his mouth.
That's just dumb speak,
sure.
Isn't it?
Yeah. But yet he continues to get elected.
Yeah. I mean, that's the baffling thing. He continues to get elected.
Yeah.
Currently, non-migrants still dominate the industries. Non-migrants dominate the industries in which migrants are most heavily employed. According to Pew data, only 18% of dry cleaning workers are migrants. Only 19% of building maintenance and landscaping workers are migrants. And only 22% of private household workers are migrants. Even farming, the sector most closely associated with migrant labor, majority non-migrant, according to the 2019-2020 National Agriculture Workers Survey. Moreover, in all the regions where we have lower levels of immigration, Americans are doing the supposedly unwanted or unfillable jobs on the bottom of the economy. In high immigration areas, these jobs are more likely to be filled by illegal immigrants. Though again, even in these sectors and regions, the migrant share of the workforce isn't nearly as high as open borders advocates suggest.
Yeah. And again, we've talked about it. Are they coming here because they're jobs, or are they coming here because right now the government is just handing them out money and handing them out driver's licenses, and Kamala wants to give them money for housing. I mean, it's not because they're coming here for work. That's for sure.
So I had a conversation with our mutual friend next door when we were coming back from that social on Saturday, and we were talking about Trump, and I mentioned that about the Haitians. He said they were here legally, and I said, you just get the app. They just fill out the app. That's not legal. That's just waiting in the queue for. Oh, I don't believe that. That's a hoax. I've got the app on my phone. I didn't show him because I was driving, but I've got the app on my phone. I checked it out myself. JD Vance was right.
Proof enough.
Yeah.
So there are many non-migrant Americans willing to dry clean your clothes, to clean your office, to landscape your garden, and to wipe your kitchen counters. And more of them would be willing to do that if they didn't have to compete with serf-like workers willing to work for much lower wages and with little to no bargaining power and regulatory protections.
My point exactly. They would be willing.
Yep. When one called, the immigration authorities can get them removed from the country, serfs will do anything.
Yeah.
I was raised with the mentality, and I told my kids the same thing. Don't ever be afraid to, or be too proud to push a broom. If you're at a workplace and the floors need to be swept, pick up a broom, man. Sweep the floor.
Yep. I just saw your son on Sunday.
Did you?
Yeah, Brian. Doing great. Love him. Cesar Chavez, the patron saint of farm workers, that's my words right there, opposed illegal migration because, quote, the illegal aliens are doubly exploited, he said. First, because they're farm workers, and second, because they are powerless to defend their own interests. That's true.
Yep.
Progressives typically concede that migrants undercut domestic wages and are often subjected to humane conditions, but then insist that this can be rectified by building up democratic socialism and labor power, not by restricting the free movement of labor. Put another way, first we'll let you in, as many newcomers as we can, and then we'll organize them. It didn't work for the Soviet Union. That crumbled. Why would it work for us? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Vance hinted in his response to Garcia-Navarro, the period of peak union density, the share of workers belonging to labor organizations or otherwise covered by collective bargaining, coincided with the restrictionist regime handed down from the 1924 Immigration Act.
It was harsh.
In 2001, back when progressives were permitted to voice comforting facts, the American prospect writer Harold Mayerson noted that it was only during the one period in American history when immigration was almost shut off, from 1923 through 1965, that industrial workers were able to organize themselves. Who really stands on the side of American workers? J.D. Vance or the progressive defenders of American serfdom?
I think J.D. Vance and Donald Trump, they're the working man's politician.
He's just a regular guy,
Yeah.
You can argue that Trump grew up with a silver spoon in his mouth. And
that's arguable, yeah.
But he's built a lot more than what his dad had, so he's obviously taken it to the next level. But
that's the American dream.
Exactly.
That's the American dream.
And J.D. Vance, obviously, he's come up in a kind of a hard life,
Yeah.
But he's been a worker.
Come from behind.
Yeah, worker, military man.
Odds were stacked against him.
Good guy.
Yeah. It's just amazing what he's done. At 40 years old, he's on the ticket with the president.
Yeah.
It's
dream
come true.
Absolutely.
And he's worked for every inch that he's gained.
Yeah. Not handed anything. So.
Yeah.
Good guy.
All right. Thanks for joining us, folks. Hope you enjoyed seeing Cameron.
I always enjoy seeing Cameron.
All
There
right,
he is again.
we'll
Daddy.
See you
talk to you
tomorrow.
later.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Daddy.
Okay.